Tia Mowry is stepping into a new chapter of her life with her very own reality show on WETV called My Next Act. In the teaser for the show, she shared some heartfelt revelations about her recent divorce from ex-husband Corey Hardricht, and she openly spoke about how lonely she's been since then. This struck me as quite interesting, given that Tia had previously stated that her decision to leave Corey was rooted in her desire to find happiness and experience independence, something she had never truly had the chance to do. Throughout her life, she was never really on her own. From a young age, she was always by her twin sister Tamera's side, as they navigated their childhood and careers together. Then, as she got older, she quickly settled into a relationship with Corey, which led to over 20 years together, including 14 years of marriage. With such a long-term relationship defining much of her adulthood, she didn't have the opportunity to spend time by herself, learn about her individual needs, or pursue her own happiness independently. According to Tia, she wasn't in the happiest place in her marriage, which ultimately led to her decision to leave Corey and take a leap towards self-discovery. During her reality show, Tia opened up about how she knew it was time to move on from her marriage. She explained, "I knew when I really started to focus on my happiness. I had actually lost my grandmother, and we had lost Elena Hotman, and both of them at the same time. It was just an aha moment for me, where I said, you know what? You need to tap in and see what's really going on with your happiness. Life is short. Let's go. Let's start working on you and really focus on what really matters, which is your peace, your joy, and your happiness." Hearing Tia's reasoning for leaving her marriage, it's hard not to empathize with her. She wasn't wrong. No one should stay in a relationship where they're not happy, as it can severely affect one's mental and emotional well-being. Staying in an unhappy situation can weigh on you in every possible way, and it takes a lot of courage to recognize when it's time to make a change. However, I do wonder if Tia fully considered the gravity of her decision and its potential consequences. Leaving a long-term relationship is never easy, and the aftermath can be more challenging than expected. It not only affects her, but also impacts her children, who are now adjusting to life without their parents being together under one roof. Watching the teaser for her reality show, it's evident that Tia has been struggling since the divorce. You can see the difficulty she's facing when it comes to dating again, and the loneliness she feels. "The one thing that I don't have is love," she admitted, revealing just how much this new chapter has challenged her emotionally. It's also not easy for her to watch her children experience a different family dynamic, one without both parents in the same household. She said, "I've always wanted the family dynamic of having a mom and a dad in one household, and when you're dropping your kids off, you actually visually see how that is no longer." These words really highlight the emotional toll this transition has taken on her. Another challenge Tia has faced since her divorce is the distance between her and her sister Tamera. She revealed in the show that she's no longer close with Tamera, saying, "Being alone has been the most challenging part of my divorce. It's times like this when I feel and wish that my sister and I were still close and I could, pick up the phone and call her. But that's just not where we are right now. I don't know. I just don't want to be alone." This revelation caught my attention, and while it was surprising, it also made sense given the differences between the two sisters. Tia and Tamera have always led very different lives. Tia lives in Southern California, is active in Hollywood, and continues to work as an actress. On the other hand, Tamera lives in Northern California, specifically Napa Valley, where she spends most of her time with her husband, Adam Housley, and their children. Tamera has largely stepped away from the entertainment industry, choosing instead to focus on her family and help her husband run their family winery. Though she occasionally comes out to film Hallmark movies, her primary focus has been her family life. The geographical distance and their differing priorities naturally make it difficult for them to maintain a close relationship. Additionally, their personalities and perspectives on life have always been different. If you've ever watched the reality show Tia and Tamera, you'd know that they rarely see eye to eye on significant aspects of life, including business, parenting, and even their fundamental beliefs. Tia is more liberal and free-spirited, whereas Tamera is more conservative and traditional. Tamera's values align more closely with those of her husband, Adam, and it's possible that Tia doesn't have the best relationship with Adam either, which could be contributing to the distance between the sisters. Tia once described herself as the black sheep of the family, highlighting how different she feels from Tamera. I push the envelope. I feel like I'm very different, or we're very different in that way. Even with our parenting styles, she's very traditional, and I'm not. Tia even mentioned having a broad perspective on life, exploring different beliefs and ideas, whereas Tamera finds comfort in familiarity and tradition. Tia's humor shines through when she jokes about hiding her crystals from her family, but it also underscores just how different the sisters are. These differences, while natural, can create distance, especially during emotionally challenging times like divorce. It's not just their beliefs that create tension, it's also their communication styles. There was an episode of their reality show where Tamera was getting married and wanted Tia to be her bridesmaid. However, Tia was pregnant and preoccupied, so Tamera made her best friend Andrea her bridesmaid instead. Tia felt hurt by this decision, and also felt like she missed out on having special moments with her sister during the wedding. However, from Tamara's perspective, Tia was simply not available. This miscommunication led to a big argument as they struggled to understand each other's feelings. Another issue arose when they tried to collaborate on a business venture, a website they were both supposed to work on. Tia expressed concern that Tamera wouldn't prioritize the project due to her commitments in Napa, but Tamera assured her that she was willing to dedicate herself to it. Despite this, Tia ended up booking an acting job behind Tamera's back, effectively abandoning the website project. Tamera was left to pick up the pieces of this failed venture. This pattern repeated itself. Whenever they had plans to work together, someone, often Tia, would be too busy to follow through. Tia has always been a workaholic, driven by the need to secure jobs to support her family. Given the unpredictable nature of acting work, she felt she couldn't afford to pass up opportunities, even if it meant letting her sister down. This is likely why Tia and Tamera don't do much together these days. They're simply on different pages. During an interview, Tamera talked about how she had heard about Tia's return to reality TV, at the same time as the rest of the world, saying, "She didn't ask me to be a part of the show, so I take that as a no." She's like, "This is my story, and I can only respect that." Tamera also mentioned that she and Adam were giving Tia her space, especially when it came to setting her up on dates or offering advice, as Tia seemed determined to figure things out on her own. Tia's vulnerability, following her divorce, might be part of the reason for the distance. She's going through a major life change, and anything that doesn't feel supportive could easily trigger her. Tamera, recognizing this, seems to be giving her the space she needs. I do hope that in time, they're able to come together and resolve any misunderstandings, because despite their differences, they are still sisters who love each other deeply. It's clear that Tia is on a journey to rediscover herself, and her reality show, My Next Act, is part of that journey. She's experiencing a lot of challenges: loneliness, the difficulty of co-parenting after divorce, and strained family relationships. But through it all, she's striving to focus on her happiness, and that's something worth admiring. When it comes to Tia and Tamera, their bond may be going through a rough patch, but I believe they will find their way back to each other. Life changes, people grow, and relationships evolve. It might take some time, but at the end of the day, they're still family. As Tamera said, she's doing Tia, and I can only respect that. It's clear that there is love there, even if they're not as close as they once were. If there's anything we can learn from Tia's journey, it's that choosing yourself and your happiness is sometimes necessary, even if the path is uncertain and difficult. It takes strength to face the unknown and embrace change, especially when it means breaking away from the comfort of familiarity. Tia's story is still unfolding, and I'm sure her reality show will give us even more insight into her journey as she navigates this new chapter of her life.